I am Professor Obiora, Chairman, United Nigeria Airlines, the Dome Entertainment Center, and so many others.
Welcome to The Edge, where vision meets courage and leaders rewrite what's possible. My name is Tochi Oputa. Today, we sit with a man whose footsteps echo across multiple worlds. But today, we talk his journey in aviation and hospitality. He is the chairman and CEO of United Nigeria Airlines and the force behind Abuja's premier entertainment destination, the Dome. From connecting nations to creating experiences, his story is one of bold ambition, relentless discipline, and national impact. This is The Edge with Professor Obiora Okonkwo. Every empire begins with a question: what if? What if we build something different, something better? For Professor Okonkwo, that question became a mission. Let's go back to where it all started.
I wouldn't say that I was created to be an entrepreneur, but all through my life, like I've said in many instances, I have been around business environment. My father was a businessman. I grew up in our nature, became part of his business from the age of 10. And ever since then, I have always been involved in one business or the other. So you wouldn't have grown up in our nature main market, without knowing about business. So I wasn't just hovering around our nature. I was trading, right, in our nature main market. So I would always say that I was an apprentice under my father. And so that Iba boy stuff, I had experience of it. And when I finished school, had a brief moment also working around a big enterprise as a manager in Lagos. And I was really involved in very sensitive aspect of that business. All the importation processes, bidding, clearing, and all that before these goods are moved on to the headquarters in Onitsha. Traveled overseas to do business for my further studies, and I left Nigeria with quite some cash, and getting into Moscow, Soviet Union, then later Russia. I found out that there were a whole lot of business opportunities. So within 3 months of my sojourn in Moscow, I was already back to Nigeria with some items to sell. And within my second year in Russia, I already established a company, because that was actually when the country was opening up. And we were the pioneer business people that taught them how to do business. So as a second year student, I had my company, I had my office. So I was able to combine that efficiently with my studies. And so my life has always been, a business. I also set up a company in Hong Kong and the manufacturing in China, Guangzhou. Some of those my items were sold around the world. Some of those lapel pins with Abacha names, with Nigerian coat of arm, those things were done by me with my signature. But I've always loved to be in business that give me the joy and satisfaction, not just making money, but to add value to life, be of service to the society. I was in Abuja for the first time in 1997, January 1997, and I really loved it. And I made a great friend who was then the ADC to Mr. Abacha, Suleiman Abba, who later became my IG of police. With him liking Abuja, I started looking into what I can do to contribute to the great city of Abuja. And every weekend, everyone rushes back. Abuja becomes empty. And then I said, on my first trip, so I want to build a place of entertainment here. It just doesn't have to be hotel because everywhere hotel, hotel, hotel. So it could be just somewhere people could not only drink or dance, but also have some recreation. So that was what led actually to the first ever all-purpose recreation center, I think in Nigeria, nothing but recreation from up to down outside. So that was what came back to them. I have a couple of other businesses. I was in IT, I'm in security. But these are the ones you see. And from there, you now can see United Nigeria is continuing service. As you can see, we have a tagline, Flying to Unite. So we believe that there will be no unity in this country if people are not able to move from place to place. You know, it's only when you see, when you visit, when you interact, that you might be able to change your impression. So we're embarking on that as a project, moving from place to place, moving people within Nigeria, and then hopefully soon beyond the African region and across the Atlantic.
Time now for Money Minute. This is a fast breakdown of the real numbers powering an airline and the economics that keep the engines running. The aviation business is not for the faint-hearted. From high operational cost to regulatory precision, it demands both courage and discipline. So how does an airline stay stable and safe and successful in a constantly shifting? Let's dive into the grind behind the growth.
I went into aviation by default. I'm not a trained aviator. I have passion for service. I have passion for providing solution. And then from there, it make business sense. So I was approached by the Air Force. Then I was in business with the military, the Air Force. The Air Force had wanted to set up a Washi aviation company, then to help them in moving, supporting the Nigerian troops on rotation to different peacekeeping around Africa. In the process, I'll buy the equipment as the aircraft, they will do the management, I'll become the chairman, and we owe the company 50-50. That was really how we started. Was ready for operations. There was change in leadership of Air Force. So the new chief of air staff had a different idea. He didn't support that business. So the aircraft was on. We never flew for one day. At some point, I felt that nobody can stop this. You know, I love such challenges. So I negotiated them out and then took over the company. The first aircraft I bought was 737 Boeing. Beautiful, nice aircraft. And so I got to understand that you need to develop some routes, and then you're providing the smaller capacity aircraft. So our initial plan was, I'll get this smaller capacity aircraft from the market study, and then develop the routes. First year, second year, then scale it up. We did all those, and when we're about to start, boom, COVID struck. And I had my aircraft that were ready to fly on ground for 12 months. And normally, when you start, you have to have crew, the cabin crew, the cockpit crew. So my first set of crew that was supposed to start were sent to South Africa for one training simulator or the other. I think about 24 of them. They arrived South Africa today. For 8 hours later, the whole border of the world was closed. So they were stuck in South Africa for 9 months. I was paying hotel bill, I was feeding them, they couldn't go and they couldn't go out. So you can imagine how we went through. So by the time they came back, we would have spent a whole lot of resources. We never gave up. So my aircraft that I sent to Mexico were on ground for 12 months. And by regulation, some of the maintenance are done by calendar. So some of them were cleared for service for 24 calendar months before they are due. So by the time they came back to Nigeria, they were already 50% lifetime spent. So you can imagine what operation would have done 24 months before going for check. We did that check in 12 months. So it was a whole lot of challenges, but we were prepared so much to start that, we got our AOC certificate to operate by 6 p.m. today. By 7:30 a.m. the next day, we had our first scheduled flight. That's where we are today. So we thought that that was over, and then change of government, naira fluctuations, scarcity of aviation fuel, from dollar from 200 and something to 1,000 something, aviation fuel from 190 to over 1,000, and endless, which was enough to have sent somebody to justice his early retirement. But by the special grace of God, we never lacked the courage and the commitment never to say it's over.
Let's take the edge quote now, a spark of wisdom to remind us why visionaries keep moving even when the path gets turbulent. Every great brand has a signature, a touch, a rhythm, a promise. So, what exactly gives United Nigeria Airlines and the Dome their edge? Let's uncover it in this next segment.
Before now, it may have been generally accepted that only captains or train aviators are better aviation managers. I'm not refuting that, but I know pretty much that it takes a lot more than that. You must have some good financial sense. If you don't possess it, you must have a team, because I think it's more or less how you manage your finances. Aviation is not only a high capital venture, but it's one venture that generates huge amount of revenue. And if you don't place them well, if you don't manage them well, you might eat your tomorrow's money today. And then when the time calls for maintenance, then you find yourself in trouble. So it's a deregulated sector. You fix your prices, your ticket fare based on the operational cost and market demand. But in the past, government fixed prices regardless of your operational expenses. And there were no also enabling technology to control certain loopholes. Tickets were sold cash, bookings were not online. But today, 99% of those things are technology based for those who choose to embrace that. And we're quite innovative in what we do. So, with all those things, you have curtailed some some element of fraud to a very, very minimal extent. It might not be 100%. I wouldn't want people to have that conception aviation is business that should come and die, because we are here to stay. And I'm sure a whole lot of other people in this sector really mean business. It's living up to our mantra, uniting, flying to unite people from place to place. Ghana is a very, very strategic country in West Africa. It's the second largest economy in West Africa. It's a great ally to Nigeria. And some people do wonder why Nigerian Airlines starts with the Ghanaian route when there are other African countries. The reason is simple. The statistics and pax load analysis are there. You have more movement between Nigeria and Ghana than you have in the entire West African region put together. So we are private business. We are not sponsored by government. So we go to where we think the business might be viable and compete with the number of the passengers available. We landed our first flight in Ghana on the 10th of November. That date and month is very symbolic. It was the exact day the former president, African legend, President Rawlings, died. So that was the 5th year anniversary of his death. So that was why we named our inaugural aircraft Rawlings. And that really excited the family and the entire nation.
And so they are being ably supported by the high commissioners of both countries.
Like we took Ghana by storm. We had a very great warm welcome and reception. And then obviously on board that flight were some support from the Nigerian side. My brother and associate Alan Onyemo of APIS was on ground, the chairman Senate committee, the minister well fully represented by the PAMSEC and other directors. So we're happy that this our little effort is gradually getting the necessary traction. We are the company that will continue to fly to unite. We have a vision and a mission to connect all sectors and all aspects of the nation. Until we do that, we will not relent. There are areas that must have to be viable, and there are some states that need to be developed, and that's the way it's done all over the places in the industry. Some places need that air development. It might not be viable for us to just go there and bear the cost, and then we're going into partnership with the state to support the process. And I can tell you that by the end of first quarter next year, max middle of second quarter next year, would have also connected some northeast, Borno, Yobe, Gombe, and we're not only starting Ekiti, we're starting Ekiti and the Lorraine. As the visionary, I have responsibility to dream where we want the company to be the next 1 year, the next 2 years. Sometimes it's some kind of challenging to cascade that vision to the team you are working with for them to understand it, own it, and then run with it. But no matter how difficult and challenging it is, it's a thing that must have to be done by all means. Because if you don't get that done and get them on board, then you can live and die with a dream. But we apply no known methodology and system, academic, natural sense, everything that is there that helps to relate with people and understand where we're going. Your experience starts from, buying our ticket, checking in, and then on board. So we just don't want to fly. We want to remain in the life of people that fly with us and then in the life of the communities where we do business. United Nigeria is just 4 years plus. And in these 4 years plus, we had done everything we could do to unite people outside Nigeria.
When Nigeria and Ghana get together, I don't think anyone can stand us.
The dome is iconic. It's been there for 20 years. So it's not like yesterday. That was sweat of my youthful age. The structure is not just, should not be seen as an entertainment. It's a character displayed. It's a show of my vision for this country. It is where I really felt that if Nigerians have to relax, it has to be in the right environment. And when we really came in, we actually changed the rule of the camp. A lot of places closed down and then, started to upgrade their standards. I know a good number of people that know me 20 years ago. If you go to their phone, they have Obidome. Dome. It's just Tommy Smith. So it's a brand that I'm very passionate about. And I'm working hard to sustain as long as I can. It's all service. The dome is about service. The airline, United Nigeria Airlines, is about service. So they have some things in common. It's where you provide for people. When we start off the dome, based on what I know about Nigeria entertainment and recreation industry, I had directed my team to employ 30% of experience and 70% of freshers so that we start with them. I remember, we have the first bowling center in Nigeria, and many people now who are bowling technicians or experts started their journey here with us at the Dome. We've given opportunities to people. And then in everything I do, you must have that value to teach people, to employ people, to provide job opportunities. We're having almost 2,000 people in our workforce today. And I took the same thing also to my the aviation company. Say, look, 30% experience, 70% new people.
Now let's pull out a quick insight for entrepreneurs. A simple reminder that big dreams don't wait for perfect conditions. They grow through consistent systems and bold action. Here is your edge tip for today. Well, visionaries don't stand still. They build, they expand, they evolve. From new routes to new investments to new opportunities for Nigerians. Let's talk about the future through the eyes of the man shaping it. Future Forward is up next.
You don't just set out to be a multi-sector businessman, but you just have to start with one thing. It's always good to have multiple sources of income, but start from the known to the unknown. Challenges will come. Be resilient. right? And don't give up. It just doesn't happen easily. We'll be 5 years in operation February 2026. By first quarter, second quarter next year, would have gone around more of West African region. And by second quarter, we've done continental, but by the special grace of God, summer next year, we're going Europe and America. Summer next year. So everything is in place for that. So it will be expansion, expansion, expansion. But we must not bite more than we can chew. God help us.
From ambition to action, from ideas to institutions, Professor Obiora Okonkwo reminds us that leadership is not about the spotlight, but about service, discipline, and impact. Before we go, here is how to connect with us. This inspiring story of Professor Obiora Okonkwo tells us that anything is possible. That's all on The Edge for today. Join me next time for another bold story and big ideas right here on The Edge. My name is Tochi Oputa. Stay inspired, stay bold, and stay on the edge.